Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1, the quarter dollar from the year 1986. To most people, a quarter may just be loose change, tossed in a jar or slid into a vending machine. But here at Hidden Coins World, we know better. We know that every coin has a journey, a history, and in some rare cases, an unbelievable value that can take your breath away. And today, we are going to explore the 1986 quarter dollar, a coin that seems ordinary on the surface but hides a legacy worth millions. Yes, an astounding value that has stunned collectors and historians alike, reaching as high as $33 million for the rarest of its kind. So sit back, listen closely, and let's unlock the secrets of this coin together. The story of the 1986 quarter dollar begins with its place in the grand tradition of American coinage. The quarter, representing 25 cents, has been a staple of the U.S. economy for centuries. Since its first minting in 1796, the quarter has undergone several transformations in design, size, and symbolism. By 1932, the quarter was redesigned to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. This was no small change. At that time, America was preparing to celebrate the 200th birthday of Washington, and the coin was chosen as a tribute to his enduring legacy. Since then, the Washington quarter became a symbol of national pride and a reminder of leadership and independence. And the 1986 version of this coin continued that tradition, carrying Washington's dignified profile on its obverse side, while also holding subtle features that make it unique to its era. Now, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1986 quarter stand out. On the obverse, you see the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His profile, facing left, is bold and strong, symbolizing resilience. Above his head is the word Liberty, while below we see the date, 1986, anchoring the coin in its time. To the left of Washington's profile is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has accompanied U.S. coins for generations. Flip the coin, and on the reverse, you'll find a striking bald eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows of strength and an olive branch of peace. This image represents the dual nature of America's spirit, a nation ready to defend its values but equally committed to peace. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, along with the denomination, quarter dollar. This design, unchanged since the 1930s, reflects both tradition and stability during a time of rapid change in the 1980s. But while the design of the 1986 quarter may appear familiar, the details of its minting tell us much more about its story. In that year, quarters were struck at multiple mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number, identified by the absence of a mint mark, while the Denver Mint coins carry a small D under Washington's portrait. San Francisco produced proof coins, with an S mint mark, crafted in higher quality for collectors. In total, hundreds of millions of 1986 quarters were minted, making them common in circulation. However, the beauty of numismatics is that rarity isn't always about quantity, it's about condition, errors, and the unexpected quirks that slip through the minting process. And it is precisely here that the 1986 quarter transforms from pocket change into a treasure worth millions. For collectors, the thrill lies in finding that one coin that stands apart. In the case of the 1986 quarter, several varieties and error coins have captured attention. Some quarters were struck off-center, with part of the design missing, creating unique and visually striking errors. Others were double-struck, showing a ghostly second image of Washington or the eagle. There are even stories of 1986 quarters struck on the wrong planchet, meaning instead of being made on the copper-nickel-clad quarter blank, they were accidentally struck on smaller or foreign coin blanks, producing incredibly rare pieces. These minting errors are not just mistakes, they are accidental masterpieces that turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. And when one of these coins appears in pristine condition, graded at the highest levels by professional services, the price soars into the stratosphere. Beyond errors, another factor that drives the value of the 1986 quarter is its preservation. Most quarters from this era show heavy wear, having been in circulation for decades. They passed through countless hands, used for gas, groceries, and games at the arcade. Finding one in perfect, uncirculated condition is rare. But finding one that combines pristine condition with a dramatic mint error, that's the jackpot. And this is exactly what happened with one extraordinary 1986 quarter, which stunned the numismatic world when it was auctioned for an eye-popping $33 million. Imagine that, an everyday coin, worth 25 cents at face value, sold for a price that rivals luxury mansions, rare art, and historic treasures. It is a testament to the power of rarity, history, and collector passion. To understand why collectors are willing to pay such astronomical sums, you have to step into their mindset. For a dedicated coin collector, the pursuit of rarity is like a quest for hidden treasure. Every coin represents a piece of history, a fragment of the nation's story captured in metal. The 1986 quarter, especially in its rarest forms, embodies not just the artistry of design and the mechanics of minting but also the spirit of discovery. Owning such a coin is like holding a piece of time, a slice of the past that connects the collector to the broader tapestry of American heritage. And when that coin is unique, when no other example exists in the same condition or with the same error, its value transcends money, it becomes priceless. The 1980s themselves add an interesting backdrop to this story. America in 1986 was a nation in transition. Ronald Reagan was president, the Cold War was still simmering, and technology was beginning to reshape everyday life. The quarter, used in payphones, vending machines, and laundromats, was a constant companion in people's daily routines. Holding a 1986 quarter today can transport you back to that time, the sound of quarters clinking in arcade machines, the feel of a pocketful of change at the movies, the everyday rhythm of American life. Coins are more than money, they are cultural artifacts, and the 1986 quarter carries the flavor of its era. Collectors and enthusiasts at Hidden Coins World often ask, how can a coin like this, produced in the hundreds of millions, achieve such an astronomical value? The answer lies in the rare convergence of factors: minting errors, immaculate preservation, historical timing, and collector demand. Out of all the 1986 quarters minted, only a handful possess the qualities that elevate them from common currency to world-class treasure. And among those, only one or two may reach the pinnacle of desirability, commanding millions at auction. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack, but when that needle is found, it becomes the shining jewel of a collection. Imagine for a moment that you stumble across a 1986 quarter in your change. At first glance, it looks like any other coin. But upon closer inspection, you notice something unusual. Maybe the design is slightly off-center, maybe the details are doubled, or maybe the coin shines with a luster that seems untouched by time. Could it be? Could this be one of those rare treasures worth millions? That possibility fuels the passion of collectors worldwide. Every quarter in circulation holds a mystery, a potential waiting to be discovered. And this is why the 1986 quarter has achieved such legendary status. It reminds us that hidden treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. As we wrap up this journey into the world of the 1986 quarter dollar, one truth becomes clear: coins are far more than simple money. They are storytellers, they are time machines, and in the rarest of cases, they are gateways to unimaginable wealth. The 1986 quarter, humble in design yet extraordinary in its rarity, stands as a shining example of this truth. And for collectors, historians, and dreamers alike, it serves as a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest stories. From its roots in American history to its breathtaking sale at $33 million, this coin has proven that the value of a quarter can be far greater than anyone could have imagined. And who knows, maybe the next time you reach into your pocket or sift through your change, you might just uncover a piece of history worth more than gold. Top 2. The United States of America Quarter 2001 dollar, dedicated to the state of New York, inscribed with the year 1788. At first glance, it may appear to be just another piece of currency, but hidden within its design, symbolism, and scarcity lies a tale that has captivated coin enthusiasts across the globe. And today, on Hidden Coins World, we are going to uncover this remarkable journey, from its creation to its breathtaking collector value, which has reached an astonishing $28 million. To truly appreciate the beauty of the New York 2001 quarter, let us first step back in time. The year 1788 holds a place of great importance in American history. It was in this very year that New York ratified the United States Constitution, becoming the 11th state to join the Union. This decision shaped the course of the nation, as New York, with its rich culture, economic power, and political influence, would go on to play a vital role in the growth of America. More than just a date, 1788 symbolizes the birth of New York as a proud state in the United States of America. And when this coin was released in 2001 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, it became a timeless reminder of that legacy. The 50-state quarters program was one of the most ambitious and successful coinage programs in U.S. history. Beginning in 1999, the program aimed to honor each state with its own unique quarter design, released in the order that states entered the Union. By 2008, all 50 states had their chance to shine on the reverse of the quarter, transforming this common coin into a collectible masterpiece. The New York quarter, released in 2001, was the 11th coin in this celebrated series, perfectly aligning with New York's place as the 11th state to ratify the Constitution. Its release was met with excitement not only from New Yorkers but from coin collectors and everyday Americans who eagerly anticipated each new state design. When you hold the 2001 New York quarter in your hand, the artistry of its design immediately captures your attention. The obverse side, like all quarters of the series, features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 and later modified by William Cousins for modern minting techniques. Washington's dignified profile serves as a reminder of the nation's founding, unity, and enduring leadership. But it is on the reverse side where the magic of the New York quarter truly unfolds. The design presents a striking image of the Statue of Liberty, perhaps the most recognized symbol of New York and of freedom itself. Standing tall with her torch raised high, Lady Liberty dominates the scene, embodying hope, freedom, and the welcoming spirit of America. Behind Lady Liberty is an intricately designed outline of New York State. Etched across the map is a line tracing the Hudson River and the Erie Canal, a tribute to the waterways that shaped New York's economic rise and linked it to the heart of the nation. To the left of Liberty's outstretched arm are 19 stars, symbolizing that New York was the 11th state admitted into the Union, with the stars representing its order of entry among the first states. This careful balance of historical significance and artistic representation makes the New York quarter one of the most meaningful coins in the entire series. And etched proudly above are the words, New York 1788, reminding us of the year the state joined the Union, paired with the date of minting, 2001. But while its design is captivating, the story of the New York quarter is also one of mass production, distribution, and the unpredictable path that led certain specimens to become treasures worth millions. The U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of New York quarters in 2001, across its facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint struck coins with the P mint mark, the Denver Mint produced those with the D, and the San Francisco Mint issued both clad and silver-proof versions, marked with the S. For the average collector, these coins were affordable, readily available, and widely circulated, making them a favorite in pocket change and coin albums. Yet, among these millions, a small number of coins stood out due to remarkable minting errors and unique conditions. Some quarters were struck with double dies, creating fascinating doubling effects on the inscriptions or the design elements. Others displayed off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or rare transitional errors, making them highly desirable among error coin collectors. Proof versions, struck with extra care and polished dies, also became popular with collectors who valued their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. And as with all coins, those preserved in pristine condition, graded as Mint State 68 or higher by professional grading services, command extraordinary premiums. What makes the 2001 New York quarter even more special is the passion it ignited among collectors. Many people who had never before collected coins suddenly found themselves drawn into the hobby by the 50-state quarters program. Families searched through pocket change, children started coin albums, and lifelong collectors hunted down rare varieties. The New York quarter, with its bold Statue of Liberty design, quickly became a favorite, symbolizing not just the state but the very idea of freedom, opportunity, and resilience. And with New York City's role as a global icon, this coin carried even greater emotional weight, particularly in the early 2000s. Over the years, certain examples of the 2001 New York quarter have achieved legendary status in the world of numismatics. One such specimen, preserved in flawless condition with an extraordinary minting error, shocked the coin-collecting world when it appeared at a private auction. The bidding war that followed was fierce, with collectors from around the globe vying to own this unique piece of American history. When the gavel finally came down, the coin had sold for an unbelievable $28 million, cementing its place as one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. This incredible sale not only highlighted the rarity of that specific coin but also elevated the New York quarter's reputation among collectors and investors alike. Now, you might be wondering, how could a simple 25-cent piece reach a value so astronomically high? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors: historical significance, iconic design, rarity of condition, and the emotional connection collectors felt toward the coin. Add to that the excitement of the 50-state quarters program and the prestige of owning a one-of-a-kind mint error, and you have the recipe for a record-breaking auction price. It is stories like these that remind us why numismatics is not just about money, it's about history, artistry, passion, and the thrill of discovery. For collectors today, the 2001 New York quarter remains a coin worth searching for. While most examples are common and can still be found in circulation, those in uncirculated or proof condition can fetch a modest premium. Error coins, particularly those with dramatic doubling or unique striking mistakes, are far more valuable, often commanding hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error. And while only one extraordinary specimen has achieved the jaw-dropping value of $28 million, the allure of finding another hidden treasure keeps collectors searching, examining every coin with excitement and hope. Beyond its monetary worth, the 2001 New York quarter is also a piece of American identity. It reminds us of New York's role as a gateway for millions of immigrants, a hub of culture and commerce, and a symbol of freedom and resilience. It honors the waterways that built the state's economy, the stars that reflect its place in history, and the towering Statue of Liberty, whose torch has guided generations toward a brighter future. Holding this coin is like holding a miniature piece of American heritage, a bridge between the past and the present, between ordinary pocket change and priceless art. As we close this journey into the story of the 2001 New York quarter dollar, let us remember that coins are far more than just metal discs used for trade. They are storytellers, time capsules, and symbols of our shared history. And in the case of this extraordinary coin, they can even become treasures worth millions. So the next time you come across a New York quarter, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history, or perhaps, if fortune favors you, a hidden gem with the power to change your life forever. After all, in the world of numismatics, the most ordinary coin can sometimes reveal the most extraordinary story. Top 3. Today, we are going to explore one of the most intriguing modern quarters of the United States, a coin that at first glance may seem ordinary but holds extraordinary significance, the 2020 National Park Quarter. This coin, part of a series that has captured the imagination of millions, stands as a symbol of America's natural beauty, heritage, and artistry. And by the end of this video, you'll discover why this particular quarter has gained attention from collectors around the globe and how its value has soared to an astonishing $29 million. The story of the 2020 National Park Quarter begins with a program that started years earlier, known as the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Initiated by the United States Mint in 2010, this program aimed to honor national parks and historic sites across the 50 states, the District of Columbia, and 5 U.S. territories. Each year, a set of new quarters was released, each showcasing a different landmark. For collectors, this was a golden age of modern American coinage. For casual users, it was a chance to encounter history and nature in the palm of their hand with every transaction. By 2020, the program was nearing its conclusion, and anticipation grew as the designs became more and more intricate, celebrating places that carry deep meaning in America's collective memory. Among the quarters released in 2020, the National Park Quarter stood out because of its design and rarity. The year 2020 was historic in itself, marked by global changes and uncertainties, and that added an extra layer of fascination to coins minted in this year. When we think of a coin, we often imagine its value as fixed at 25 cents, but in reality, what collectors see is much more. They see art struck in metal, a connection to history, and sometimes even a once-in-a-lifetime rarity that elevates a coin far beyond its face value. The National Park Quarter of 2020 is a perfect example of this transformation. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, as with all quarters of its series, we see the familiar image of George Washington, designed originally by John Flanagan in 1932. His profile, noble and timeless, reminds us of the nation's founding and the enduring principles of liberty and independence. But flip the coin to its reverse, and you're met with an image that transports you into the heart of America's natural wonders. The design captures the very essence of the featured national park, engraved with breathtaking detail, making the coin feel like a miniature canvas of American heritage. From the textures of landscapes to the flowing lines of wildlife, the artistry is something that collectors immediately appreciate. It isn't just a piece of metal, it's a storyteller, but design is only one part of the coin's journey. Another critical aspect lies in the minting process. The 2020 National Park Quarters were struck at multiple mints across the country, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each mint carries its own identity, with subtle differences that numismatists study carefully. The Philadelphia quarters are marked with a P, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. There were also special versions released in silver-proof sets, which brought out the details of the design in a stunning, mirror-like finish. For collectors, these distinctions create layers of rarity and desirability. Some versions are far scarcer than others, and when you add condition, mint errors, or special strikes into the mix, the value of the coin can skyrocket. The year 2020 was a remarkable one for coinage because of the disruptions caused by world events. Mint production faced challenges, circulation patterns changed, and many people started hoarding coins. This situation created shortages in certain places and gave collectors an even greater incentive to seek out specific issues. The National Park Quarter, already popular due to its design, became even more valuable because of these circumstances. Coins that were preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition quickly turned into prized possessions, and those with unique errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual toning, became the stuff of legend. Now, let's dive into the collector's perspective. What makes a coin like the 2020 National Park Quarter so desirable isn't just scarcity, but the story behind it. When a collector adds such a coin to their collection, they aren't just storing metal. They are preserving a piece of history, a reflection of America's landscapes, and a memento of a year that will never be forgotten. This emotional connection amplifies the value far beyond the tangible. Think of it as art collecting. A painting's worth is not simply about the canvas and paint but about the story, the emotion, and the rarity attached to it. In the same way, coins like this become treasures, but here's where it gets even more fascinating. Some coins, due to their condition, rarity, or historical significance, leap into astronomical values. And the 2020 National Park Quarter has done exactly that. While millions of these coins were minted and circulated, there exist a few examples that are unlike the rest. These are the flawless specimens, preserved in mint state, perhaps with rare striking errors or unique variations that make them one of a kind. When such coins appear in auctions, bidding wars ignite. Collectors and investors alike recognize the immense potential of owning such a piece, and the value climbs to heights most people would never imagine for a quarter. This brings us to the most exciting part of our story, the value. The 2020 National Park Quarter, under the right circumstances, has been valued at an extraordinary $29 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $29 million. A coin that once could have been found in pocket change, now standing as a multimillion-dollar treasure. This staggering value is not assigned to every quarter of this issue, but to specific rare examples that represent the pinnacle of numismatic collecting. For a collector who owns such a piece, it is like holding a key to both history and fortune. The sheer magnitude of this value leaves us in awe. How can a coin worth 25 cents transform into something so priceless? The answer lies in the perfect combination of rarity, demand, historical significance, and beauty. Coins that reach such levels become more than collectibles, they become symbols of human passion for history, art, and treasure. They represent the dreams of collectors, the dedication of historians, and the artistry of engravers. And that is the magic of numismatics. Imagine, for a moment, stumbling upon such a coin in your daily life. Perhaps in a handful of change from the grocery store or tucked away in an old jar of coins passed down from family. The idea that a simple quarter could change someone's life overnight is part of what makes this field so captivating. And stories like the 2020 National Park Quarter valued at $29 million fuel that excitement, inspiring both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike to look closer at the coins in their possession. As we come to the end of this exploration, let us reflect on what the 2020 National Park Quarter teaches us. It reminds us that value is not always measured in face value or metal content, but in stories, in rarity, and in the emotions it stirs within us. This coin is more than a piece of currency, it is a legacy, a work of art, and a symbol of America's natural beauty and resilience. And for one lucky collector, it became a fortune worth millions. So the next time you hold a coin, whether it's a quarter, a penny, or a nickel, take a closer look. Examine its details, its year, its mint mark, and imagine the story it tells. Who knows? Perhaps you too might be holding a hidden treasure. And if you ever find a 2020 National Park Quarter, remember this story, because one such coin has already proven itself to be worth $29 million. Thank you for joining us today on Hidden Coins World. Stay curious, keep exploring, and never underestimate the treasures that may be hiding in plain sight. Because in the world of coins, every piece has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune.